Good evening, guys. Welcome to the Mind Body Connection, brought to you by the Caribbean Voice on Island Zone Radio. My name is Hiram Rampersad. Don't get too nervous, guys. Shanaz is on her way to the studio, but I thought, you know what, let me start this early because there is something that's bothering me, and I really want to help this young man that's in the studio. But before we talk to him, let's say hello to Naya and tune in from Guyana. Leon St. Martin, thank you very much. Bibi from Guyana, you know, she does a lot of work for cancer in Guyana. I want to say thank you very much for all the things that you do. Varshini Kedarnath, Nalini Rupchan, thank you very much for tuning in. Um, Kurt, thank you, my friend from Florida, locked in. Alex Janak, Silochan Prasad, Debbie Sanyasi, always tuning in. My good friend Geeta Baldeo, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago, and she's saying good night to everyone. Miss Geeta Rampasad is singing, she is in the background listening. Arvinda Kedarnath, he will be playing the songs for us. Shabir Baksh, thank you for tuning in. Nagita Sanyasi from Guyana. To our son, Rajiv Nandalal, he's locked in. Shelly and Ryan, my God, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Miss Usha Azimola, all the way from Wisconsin in the United States, thank you for tuning in. Aditya is in. Angela Ramsaran is in. Nanda Budai, thank you for tuning in. And our good friend for the program from the Caribbean Voice, Miss Neela Pawaru, she's in the studio. She's watching in. Shalini Ramutar, thank you for tuning in. Diana is watching from Ghana too. Ryan Jeffrey, I want to say thank you very much. Anytime, I could always depend on this guy. And that's DJ Fest, who don't know him. Maharani Dubey, thank you very much for tuning in. Who else? Roshani Ramisar, thanks for tuning in. Who else is here? Let's see. Miss Hasina Banu, I missed you for a couple of weeks. Thank you for locking on. Ram Narayan Prabhu, thank you for tuning in tonight. Who else is here? Okay, so let's go to business. As with me in studio here tonight is Mr. Sarwan. You guys must have never seen him before, but here's a story. He lives in 126th Street in Queens, and a couple of weeks ago, the 10th of this month, his son, a very brilliant young man, go to a specialized school because of his intelligence. He packed his bag, went to school, and he never returned home as yet. The story has been reported to the police, but I thought it's a good thing. You know, as a father, I could feel his pain. I also actually I was sleeping today when I woke up and I saw the video. The wife and him were pleading to the community to help him to see if they could try to locate their son. Unfortunately, he's not here. So I want to say, Sarwan, thank you very much for coming into studio today to talk to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
You are most welcome. So tell us a little bit about your son. He's 17 years old, and you guys are from Guyana.
Yeah, yep. We are from Guyana. He's like everything you would want in a son.
Please bear with us, guys. It's a kind of a special moment here tonight.
He's everything, man. He's everything you would want in a son. Everything. Unfortunately, I think I was probably too hard. I don't know. I don't know why he left. He hasn't told us why. He hasn't been in contact with us. So I'm just here to plea with the listeners and the viewers to help in whatever way they can.
I'm showing you guys the picture here now. It should come up anytime now. This is his son. He is 17 years old. And which high school he was going to?
Queen's High School for the Science is in York College.
York College, boy. He's a brilliant young man. That's
Yes, he is. But there's lots of other things to life, and something is bothering him. I don't know what it is, but I'm just here to play with him, whatever the issue is, financial, I don't know, girl, whatever, any issue he have, we will be able to work it out. I mean, there's lots and lots of family that's willing to help in whatever way they can. So please give us a call. Let us know you're okay.
So, he is pleading to his son, Robert, to please contact your mom and your dad. It's tough for them to know that their son left to go to school, right?
Yep.
He packed his bag,
Yep.
get ready, went to school, and he never turned up. Did he ever went to school that day?
Yes, he did went to school. He clocked in to the
Right.
school,
Hmm.
and he left, I guess, an early lunch or something like that. I'm not sure, but he just left, never came home, didn't call.
And I want to believe this was a premeditated. This thing was planned, right?
Yes, it's highly likely it was.
Um, so we know that this guy was not kidnapped. We know he was not kidnapped. Um, we know he was not kidnapped. He packed his bag and went to school. And unfortunately, he went early to school and did not come home.
Yeah.
So what prompted you guys? What prompted you to say, let me call the police or let me get involved with the police?
Well, he normally after school he normally goes to the Army Career Center to exercise, and because he was planning on joining the army.
Right, right.
So he was supposed to be home by 6 o'clock, and he wasn't there at 6. So I went on Jamaica at the Army Center to look for him. We looked pretty much everywhere that we thought he would have been, and was unsuccessful. Then we decided to call the police.
Right,
We
right.
were just hoping that he was just late.
Okay.
I mean, 6, he was school finishes like about 3:30. He was supposed to be home at 6. We were hoping that he was just late and nothing else. Then we decided to call the police. Police was very nice as usual. But after like a couple of days, they handed over to the missing person branch, and they are very helpful.
Yes, so he's a good-looking young man, just 17 years old, and I don't know, was he into? And I'm just going to ask these questions because I like myself, because I work out there. I work with people who do a lot of I don't want to say wrong things, but get involved with a lot of things. So was he drinking or anything?
Well, not that I know of. I mean, there was no sign. He never came home drunk or wanted to puke or anything like that. You could never smell it on him. He hugs us when he comes home. So it would have been easy to smell alcohol or anything else.
And what about his behavior? Because one of the things that we know with children, even if adults, one of the things that we know is that, sometimes that their behavior will change. Did you, as a father, notice, and I know that how it could get sometimes, that we get busy and taken away with life. We tend to go work, come home, hey, how you doing, everything all right, and we go
Not
to bed.
noticing, yeah.
And not noticing anything. Did you think that anything like this ever happened whereby that, this child was going through a lot of things, his feelings, he's 17, and wonder what happened to him that causes all of this to happen, for him to run away? Did you and him had a bad relationship? Were your relationship good with him? Did you have that door open in terms of communication whereby he can come and chit chat with you? What was it like about?
Well, I was always like the one that the enforcer. The mom was the nice person, and I am supposed to be like making sure the stuff is done and you do the right thing. So
Right.
the relationship was good. I at least I thought it was.
Yes.
I thought it was.
Yes, yes. So, and I could really do feel your pain. I could imagine that what your wife and your children. I look at the video today. I just woke up and I said, you know what? Let me call this guy and see how I can be, or the Caribbean Voice can help you. That you could, we could help track this guy down, or at least send a message out that people know that this is a 17-year-old guy. And I know that he probably is not a worldly guy in a sense that, we have Guyanese, we got some kids that 17, 16 years old, and they are of the world. They know a lot of things, what to do, what not to do. How was he? Was he a guy who come in late, and you don't know?
Oh, never. We know every time is accounted for.
Really?
Yes, he was. If he had to go somewhere, we knew about it. The time back, the time is the time.
Right.
So, I mean, there is another picture I gave you.
This one.
Yes, he's he's more likely to look. This is the last picture, the most recent. This was his
Yes.
school graduation picture, and he's more likely to be looking anything like this. So if you want, you could open it if you want and get it
Yes,
out. If it'll be easier or
Let me
clearer.
see. Let's see how it's going to look on camera. And I'm sure next week
The
we
one
will
with
be
the
able-
hood is more likely to look like the one with the hood.
Yeah, I hope that we can help track this guy down. I would love to report next week that we find him, that he decided to come home. And speaking of that, Sarwan, I personally want to make a pledge to your son that if you're looking to at this program, I know we get like 5,000 people watch this program sometimes. Um, the thing is that what's his name again?
Robert.
Robert. If you want to come home and you're scared of daddy, let's say daddy did something to offend you or mommy did something to offend you, you can always reach out to the Caribbean Voice. You can call myself, you can call Shanaz or Anand Budram. You can always, if you have access to the computer, you can go to the CaribbeanVoice.org and contact one of us. I can give you my cell number if you want. I'm going to put it out there. You can call me at 917-767-2248. I can come and meet you somewhere. If you don't want daddy to come there, I can come and we can make sure that we have a peaceful transformation whereby you can come return home without have to worry if daddy's going to put you out or mommy's going to put you out. Let me let you know one thing that it's hard on mommy and daddy and the boys home. So whatever you're doing, just please reach out to them and let them know that you're okay and that you want to come home, because it is not easy for them to live every day. I'm sure you're not sleeping.
No, the mom is not sleeping. She's not eating. It's very difficult to eat when you don't know if he's having something to eat.
Yes.
I mean, you just eat 2 mouthful and that's pretty much it. It's very, very difficult to do things not knowing he's safe or he have something to eat.
Right.
So sleeping is it's a minor thing. It's all the emphasis is on him. Coming back. It's been very difficult on his brother and sister. He have a brother and he have a sister.
Right.
So it's been very, very difficult on them. They does their best to like bottle it, but it is affecting them.
I could tell.
It is affecting them.
I see a smile on your son's face today. I was like, the nurse and me were saying, I know there was a lot of pain inside of that smile. And then when your daughter started to talk, I could imagine and I could see the hurt inside of her, and your wife started to cry. So, to let your wife know that, we are concerned and we are care just like you. I could feel your pain, even as a father, knowing that your child hasn't come home. You want to know if he's safe or he is not safe. So, Robert, please.
Just a word. I'm okay. Just one word. I'm okay. Say hello to your mom. Forget about your mom and myself. Just say hello to your sister or your brother. Let them know you're okay.
And
That's all.
Yeah, and his name is Robert Rahman. And if you see this guy, you can always call 911. You could also call 917-535-5146 or 407-729-3495 or 347-447-6795 or their final number 718-835-6969. Again, Robert, if you're looking at this program or by chance you run into this program, please don't hesitate to call someone for help. Or even you don't want to call your mommy and daddy, reach out to me at 917-767-2248 and I can always convey this message. Or you can even talk to me and I could see how I could help you in this situation. But you know what? You don't have to run away from home. Life is not easy. Anywhere you go, I am tough on my boys too. But at the end of the day, and you know what? You may not realize now, but probably when you get older, you will realize that, that your father and your mother and your siblings, they love you. And your parents want you to come home. And they want you to have the best in life. That's why probably, and I don't know, daddy is tough on you. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that one of us as parents has to be tough on the kids. We can't let you get a free ride. So please, Robert, call your parents, okay? Don't hesitate. We are here to support you in whatever you're going through. If you're depressed, even reach out to us. If what you're going through, I know growing up at 17 years old, it's not easy. It's a tough thing to go through. So I would ask you again, please reach out to somebody. Let me say hello to a couple of people again before we get some music. While Arvin get his music, I see Vimal Ramphal. Thank you very much for tuning in. Angela, yes, thank you very much, Angela. Thank you for tuning in. Shelley and Ryan Jaden, thank you. She says, our prayers with you for your son's safe return.
Thank you.
Let me see. Donald said, good night. Gita Bal said, I hope your son come back home safe. I am sharing the same sentiment. Maharani Dubey is putting on, she's showing a praying hand. So thank you very much. We got Debbie Sanyasi. Wherever you are, please come home. Your dad and mom loves you. My heart goes out to the parents. Absolutely, Debbie. You and I know we are parents together, and we know how difficult it is to really our children not coming home. Diane at Trinidad said, so sad. Son, call your parents. Let's see. Silochini Gangadin is tuning in. Thank you so much. We're lucky. We get a lot of people tuning in tonight. Jayashri Sarju, my aunt Dolores Sigobin, she is locked in. Alex Miles, thank you for tuning in. Sateshwar Prasad from Canada, thank you for tuning in. He's saying good night to all. We say good night to you guys. So we're going to go into a song in 1 minute. Let us make a final call for, I don't know if I'll let the mic open if you want to make you want to say anything else.
I mean, the same thing as I've said earlier. I mean, any issue you have, I'm sure we could work it out. I'm positive. I promise you we could. There's lots. Uncle Ravi, Uncle Beckles, Uncle Ravo, they're willing to do whatever it takes. We're looking for you. We're trying our best. Please give us a call. I love you, son.
Yeah, and for especially your dad to say I love you on public television. I mean on public. It takes so much out of him, and I'm sure, and I know this is a learned lesson for Daddy too. I mean, he may not have said it so much times that I love you, but you know what? Moving forward, I can assure you, I will keep in touch with Daddy, and see that something positive come out of this. So I want to say, on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, we are standing with you. We want to help you for your son to come home, and you see, Shanaz just came in. Shanaz absolutely will help you somehow or the other to put it on our TV program to see how we can help you. We are embracing this. We are embracing you and your family, and we love you guys too. So once again, before we go to the music, I'm going to say, Ryan, please come home. Your family Robert, your family is waiting for you, and they love you. Let's go with a nice tune.
जी चाहता है गले से लगा लूं, पलकों में रख लूं, मैं नजर में छुपा लूं। चाहता है गले से लगा लूं, पलकों में रख लूं, मैं नजर में छुपा लूं। पास है दूर है, कितने मजबूर है, रो रहा मेरा दिल, मेरी आंखें हैं नम। कभी खुशी कभी गम, ना जुदा होंगे हम, कभी खुशी कभी गम।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mind-Body Connection. So here it is. We have our guest in studio today. I'm so glad that he decided to come into the studio to talk about his son. His son actually went to school and did not return home. And you know what? I want this to be a learn session. And you just told me in break that you can go ahead and talk. What you're just telling me.
I was just saying that as parents, we never say, especially fathers, we never say I love you enough. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. Kids need to hear that. And we always think we're doing things for the best, and in the long run it's going to help you, and in the long run it's going to benefit you. But we didn't like that when we were kids, and we can't expect kids to like that now. So we pretty much have to do things for the now. God will take care of tomorrow and the rest. You know, I'm sure it's you have to look after the now. You can't just think about the future. It's all good, but the future is not guaranteed. Nothing is. Only the present. So I mean, just tell them you love them. Hopefully I will be able to tell him soon that I love him. Hopefully come back.
Yes, and I want to tell you that when your son, when we find this guy, I would want you know, probably we can have a good session with him, so he can come and chit chat with us and let us know exactly what really happened. Why I believe that he will come home sometime or the other soon. I trust that he will listen to your plea and that he will find somewhere in his heart to know that his father and his mother and sibling, that you all love him in a special kind of a way. So I want to say thank you very much for coming in the studio today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can take a seat. And the thing is that you can sit with us. You can listen to myself and Shanaz.
You can put his number in the chat box.
Yes, and I'm going to take his number. We'll put it in our chat box. And guys, you know, feel free to, if you see his son, feel free to reach out to the Caribbean Voice, and see how we could help him. Okay, so we will ask our DJ to, in 1 minute, to get a song ready for us, and then when we will come back with regular programming tonight, because there was so much to talk about. We have Pandit Suresh Subram tune in, John Palmieri, he joined in. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. So Arvin, please get your song ready. And so when we come back, we can go to regular programming. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
तेरी मेरी तेरी प्रेम कहानी है मुश्किल, दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए। एक लड़का एक लड़की की ये कहानी है नहीं, दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए। तेरी मेरी तेरी प्रेम कहानी है मुश्किल, दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए। दूजे से हुए जुदा जब एक दूजे के लिए बने तेरी मेरी मेरी तेरी प्रेम कहानी है मुश्किल दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए सारा दिन बीत जाए सारी रात जगाए बस ख्याल तुम्हारा लम्हा लम्हा तड़पाए ये तड़प के रही है मिट जाए फासले ये तेरे मेरे दरमियान जो है सारे एक दूजे से हुए जुदा जब एक दूजे के लिए बने तेरी मेरी बातों का हर लम्हा सबसे अनजाना दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए एक लड़का एक लड़की की ये कहानी है नहीं दो लफ्जों में ये बयां ना हो पाए
Welcome back to the Mind-Body Connection. This is the man, Ramprasad Hiram, known as Kenneth, and I'm so glad that we got, welcome back, Shanaz.
Welcome, welcome. Good evening to each and every one of you locked onto the Caribbean Voice, the Mind-Body Connection. And tonight I joined the conversation with Mr. Hiram here and his co-host earlier talking about something very troubling. I mean, how troubling to be a missing person, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this program, please share our show so someone could see this missing child and reach out to his parents. It's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking knowing that your child is out there. You don't know if he's sleeping or if he's having any food to eat, whatever the circumstances
17 years old, I must say. Do reach out to us. His number, his dad's number will be in the chat box. Do call us or call a precinct. And yes, we are here to help when it comes to Caribbean Voice. Thank you for supporting our program every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. right here on Island Zone Radio. Mr. Saresa Grimm, good night to you. The famous John from Queens. Speaking of John from Queens, does it ring a bell? You were capping on the weekend. John was quite busy.
Yes, he was doing the taping on Chutney Wine.
He got the best view. He got the best seat in the house, taping all the artists. He just put up Ricky Jai's performance, so you guys could check it out. Big up to Mr. Buddy Singh and his wonderful team that make it possible year after year. I know Auntie Rose Beaumont said the show was fantastic, and she saw my flyer. She saw I was working on putting out flyers on Rockaway Boulevard, so she know we were doing the hard work. And the show is a success, and it makes it because of everyone who came out and gave us your support. You're the one who make it a success. You know, I just drove all the way to 134th Avenue because a friend of mine bought 2 VIP tables, so I went there to pick up his check, supporting Chutney Wine.
That's a beautiful thing when you could support it. I'm so glad
you came, you supported Chutney Wine, so that was also very nice.
Yes,
I think everyone was excited to see you there.
Oh yeah, but listen, I had to laugh because the thing is that guys, everybody sees me with so much pictures, and the thing is that all I had to do was like, nobody knew who I was anyway, but I had to introduce myself. This is Shanaz's co-host. So everybody like, come on, let's get the picture. I was so impressed. And then Navin came and said, listen, you want some pictures? You want to go backstage? And I said, why not? Let's go get some pictures. Yeah, I'm a little guy from Queens here, and let me go meet some of the guys.
First-hand experience, and that's how we do it when it comes to our shows in our community. We're always, welcoming. We said all the persons who buy the VIP tables, if you want to take pictures with the celebrities and the artists, just let us know. We'll bring them to you. The artists are very happy to partake in the crowd and come on down and take pictures. So we had a very good turnout and everyone loved it. So until today we're getting feedbacks, and we love getting feedbacks because that's how we get better and making things better one year after another.
Absolutely. And my co-host looked sparkling with her long red dress. Yes, I was proud of her, and she did a fantastic job. Like somebody says, my God, Shanaz's voice is so clear. Yes, Shanaz has a big mouth. You know, I'm a man, but I got a big, but when she opened that mouth of hers, my God, I'm like, good for her.
Please get quiet.
Exactly. So, you know, let's talk a little bit about chutney wine. And I was very impressed. You know, Shanaz, I love to party, but I really don't go to these things. But the good thing is that, you know, it was well planned. Mr. Singh did a beautiful job in arranging this. And I'm so glad when I look around, there were so much people in the audience and they were very excited. I was so glad I get to meet some of the celebrities from Ghana and some of the singers.
We got to meet all the folks that was watching us on our live every Mondays
yes.
and on our Thursdays.
I get to see Una.
Auntie Una was there, the beautiful Julie Singh was there, Nicole, Aniksha, you know, all the wonderful folks that came out and they were excited. Mr. Harold Kumar was there. And I had my cousins from Canada came down. I didn't know they were coming. They surprised me at this
My
stage.
God, yes.
So I was happy about that. Shakuntala, good evening to you. Mr. John Namat, good night. Good night, Geeta Baldeo. Mr. John Namat said he'll make it next year for chutney wine. If not, we'll be going to Guyana because, you know, chutney wine is all in aid of doing something better, not just for Guyana. They're reaching out to Suriname. They're going to India. And hey, Florida, we are coming also. I just got off the phone with a beautiful venue. We're working on something big in Florida, Guyana. We are coming, and New York, July 13 is the date. Florida, sip and chat. And I got so much feedback about our Florida show that we're coming there. Concert for Hope, June 29, Sip and Chat Restaurant. July 13, New York City, Code Ross. And August 3rd, we're coming to Guyana. That's right, the Classic Hotels. Not forgetting another venue in Guyana and Florida. We are coming again.
Yeah, and you know what was the icing on the cake at that show? To see D-Raj dance. He had them ladies
he got
balling there.
Moves, right?
I wrote him yesterday and I said, I thought you retire. He started to laugh and he said, retire.
He said, like wasting talent, you know?
Exactly. He's like old wine. He went and rejuvenated and come back.
Wow.
And so thank you very much for always doing something for our community and to help raise money for everyone.
Good night to the beautiful Geeta Ram Prasad. Thank you very much. Always entertaining, always very, very polite, and what a beautiful hostess she is. Angela Ramsaran, good night to you. Bibi Ahmad, our own Caribbean Voice member, good night to you. Thank you very much, Mr. John Nimat. He said he couldn't take his eyes off the lady in red.
And that was Shanaz Hussein. I want to say hello to Miss Patsy Nanan, all the way. She's from Puerto Rico. Know her from since a little boy. She's in Baltimore, Maryland, always watching our show too. So thank you very much.
Well, I had some families in Puerto Rico. They were the Sheriff family. So good night to you guys. Dolly Shahid, good night, good night. Line, how you doing? Geeta Baldeo, good night to you. Yes, and I got a call from the beautiful Debbie Sanasi to pick up some medical supplies for us, the Caribbean Voice. So thank you very much, Debbie. I'll be making my way to you this Saturday. Mr. John from Queens posts up all the videos on the famous John from Queens YouTube channel. Do check it out on Chutney Wine.
That's right. I have to tell you that today is Savi's birthday. She's in Georgia. I want to say her mom is in studio today.
Wow,
very good.
We have a live audience in our studio. That's what keeps us very excited every Monday right here.
Your mom say happy birthday. And yesterday was your boy Arvin's birthday.
Right. Good night and happy birthday to you, Arvin, our wonderful DJs.
Yes. And so, Shanaz, let's talk. Couple of things that went through my mind. As you know, made some news flash. We know that a couple died in Florida in a car accident. And both of them died there from Guyanese parentage.
Very young couple. They're related to myself. A young girl. She is 23 years old, a teacher in school. And her fiancé was, I believe, an accountant, something like that. Very
they look so decent, yes.
Decent, humble kids, yeah. And you know, life is not promised, as I was listening to your guest earlier.
Yes.
Live for today. In our previous episode, we speak about mindfulness. And that's part of practicing mindfulness, is taking one day at a time. And, you know, live for the moment. Don't stress about tomorrow because it's not guaranteed for any one of us.
Absolutely so. And who you ask, I know that exactly. So you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. So that's why we always have to give life our best shot. as you know. Also, we know that a boy 5-year-old was thrown out from the third floor in a Mall of America. Luckily that he is surviving. The parents said we are so lucky and we are so elated to let you know that our son is now alert and conscious and is no longer in critical condition. So that's a good thing. I wonder why people would do
That's
this kind of a
good
thing.
news. You know, we have people in this world who's dying to have kids, and then we have people who have kids and they don't appreciate them, they don't treat them well.
Absolutely. So, and you know what? The thing is that some people who really want kids don't get the kids, and some of the people who have the kids, they abuse them. They do all manner of things.
Appreciate the kids.
Exactly. So, and then another thing, another 5-year-old, his parents beat him and in the bathtub and put cold water in him. He died. They bury him. And they report him lost. And so what happened is that they bury him in the backyard. So fortunately, he unfortunately he died of massive brain injuries, which is so sad. Also, Shanaz.
Well, I hope those parents are made an example of that. You know that it's not you're giving them the opportunity to grow a kid. You know, God give you the opportunity to get a kid, and you should be raising them well. If you can't raise them, give them up for adoption. I'm sure other people would love to raise your children.
That's a beautiful thing you said there. If you can't take care of the kids, there is place, especially here in the United States, where you could leave the kids. Somebody you could take them to the firehouse or to leave them at a hospital or some church, and you would not get into trouble. Right. May I add that you know you leave it somewhere safe, someone will take them and they will be adopted somewhere. So that's a good thing. Also in the headline that really bothered me all week, where this 10-year-old child hung himself,
That is touching. Yeah, I mean, what
took his own life.
10-year-old? What do they know about suicide? What do they know about life to know that it's difficult?
Exactly. So, and I have this story here. You know, his mother is 35 years old. She left the son in a jovial mood, and he likes to go and catch fish. But what happened is that, you know, the mother had to cross some trenches, and she did not want to take him. And she said it's a lot of work for her to do, you know, to take him there. And so he was making a kite, a heart-shaped kite, and she tell him, when you finish, go eat some food. And the thing is that the sister went and found him dead in the shack in the backyard. The teen quickly alerted the sister and neighbors, and they went and a neighbor went and get the mother at the backyard where she was fishing. And it was sad because she went for fishing to feed the family, because unfortunately, you know what, I think the dad died when
so
this
like
child...
One hardship from another,
yeah.
You know, you're trying to survive, you're trying to raise your kids, make that sacrifice. But did they tell you any more detail of why he committed suicide?
No, and it's sad. Nobody knew exactly why he committed suicide, why he killed himself, why at that early age. And unfortunately, Shanaz, that I have to tell you, the percentage of children killing themselves is very slim, but it does happen. And when I heard this, although I'm a psych nurse and I work in this area, I want to know, how would a child really know what to do?
Suicide, what to do, what method to use.
You know, reading the story, I heard the mother said that she saw him playing one day with a plastic bag over his head, and she said to him, you know, that's dangerous, don't do that, it's not good for you. Right. So, you know, you have to pay attention to all these things. What's sad about this, that, you know, it's a mother, she have, I think, 4 other kids, and she's struggling to take care of her children. Her husband died when this boy was 6 months old. If anybody is willing to help this family, you can call 626-2014.
I did share that post on Facebook, so you guys could please contribute. We'll be contributing towards them also. And I saw an organization help the family, made a beautiful house. I forgot the name of that organization, but it's so touching to see all these organizations making a difference in Guyana.
Yes, and I'm so glad that both me, you know, no, I don't want to give credit to us, but I'm so glad that both me and you and I actually is in the business of trying to help. And, you know, when I went to Chutney Wine and I see all the work the guys did and is still doing, I am so glad, and I embrace all of this, and I don't know what else we can do, but we are willing to share and to help each other.
On that note, I'll say good night to Mr. Sunny Prasad, one of the artists that was there. He always volunteered his talent and his voice for entertainment All the cast was very excited. Hey, good night, Sateshwar Prasad. Good night to you. He said when we're coming to Canada, he's ready to purchase some tickets by supporting and buying some VIP tables. So thank you very much, Mr. Sateshwar Prasad, Geeta Baldev. Thank you very much, Mr. Don Isahak. How you doing? Linai, good night, good night. Thank you guys for sharing. Sharing is always caring, and we love for others to reach out to us. 5 minutes of your time could save a life. Suicide prevention is
everybody business.
That's
and it
right.
just take 5 minutes of your time. So we're going to get a song, and when we finish, we will be talking why do young children commit suicide. This was not in the plan really, Shanaz, but I thought, you know what, since within the past 5 or 6 days, we had like 5 or 6 suicide in Guyana.
I had a friend who said I'm coming off Facebook because it's so sad, all the news that they've been getting on Guyana and suicide around the world. Not just Guyana, it's happening around the world, but because we're focusing or we're clicking on posts that relates to Guyana, we see the headlines that's coming up, you know. It's happening around the world, and we need to put an end to it. We need to educate our kids, sit them down and make them feel important, let them feel valuable, and we can only do that if we're giving them our time, our attention, and our love. These are things that money cannot buy.
Absolutely. And then the other thing is, as parents, and we will talk about this a little later on, that you know, as parents, we have a responsibility for our children, how we grow them up, and what relationship we have with them. You know, like Ken and Kevin, they're very lucky that I always hug them and kiss them and ask them how they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Despite I don't get to do it too much, but I still do it when I get the time. So let's go for a song now, and after that we will
Bibi
get
Ahmad
straight to
said there's
business.
always unanswered question when it comes to suicide, right? We want to know, what are they thinking, what are their thoughts while they're doing that.
Oh, and I saw your friend, Mr. Your Rocky brother, actually, Mr. Madre.
Mr. Tyrone Madramutu in
Madramutu.
Toronto. Imagine they came all the way from Toronto to help the setup and make sure things go accordingly.
Yeah, and he was very friendly, but you were surprised I knew his name.
Wow, he's famous as well. He's been in Guyana, and when it comes to Christmas, I know we talked earlier about this, but they always do a Santa Claus parade in Wakenham and various villages in Guyana. So thank you, Tyrone Majamutu, Mr. Buddy Singh, a very good friend of mine, and Arjuna Madre, good night to you. Bibi Haq, how you doing? Geeta Baldeo, thank you. Sharing is caring. Hit share so everyone could see you're locked on to Island Zone Radio. Our DJ has a beautiful song in mind. Let's take that number and we'll be right back.
मेरा दिल
से जी भरता ही नहीं अब नैन मिले तो चैन मिले खत से जी भरता ही नहीं अब नैन मिले तो चैन मिले
चांद हमारे अपना चले कोई ऐसी रैन मिले
मिलना हो तो कैसे मिले हम मिलने की सूरत लिख दो मिलने की सूरत लिख दो
नैन बिछाए बैठे हैं हम कब आओगे खत लिख दो तुम्हें भेजा है खत में फूल नहीं मेरा दिल है तुम्हें
Can electricity
Old is gold. We always love playing your favorite tunes. Sorry, Daisy. Good night to you, Arjuna Madre, Mr. John Hassan Khan. Good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you locked on, and all of you who came out to support Chutney Wine. It's always for a good cause. And mark your calendars for Concert of Hope. Concert of Hope is done by the Caribbean Voice presentation. Big up to Mr. Satish Udayaram. It's happening June 29 at the Sip and Chat restaurant in Florida. Tell your friends and your family in Florida to come on down to the Sip and Chat restaurant. June 29, July 13 in NYC. The code Ross. That's right. And then again, we'll have another program in Guyana. We are coming. Maharani Dubey, good night to you. The famous John from Queens, good night, good night. And he said thank you to Apache. Apache, remember, John was filming at the back, and he always recognized John near or far. Arjuna, thank you very much. And yes, she said it's so true. Negativity, neglect, and negligence. You know, we need to put our children first. I have a friend, a very close friend of mine in Trinidad, and I know that Mr. Anand Budram, the founder, will be making his way to Trinidad pretty soon because we have a pretty strong foundation when it comes to the Caribbean Voice in Guyana. And with all the coordinators we have, and last year we promised that we'll be making our way to Trinidad to help with their system as well. You know, work together.
Yep.
And big up to Mr. The Hitman. I must say the Hitman was talking about bullying earlier, and bullying alone is a whole topic by itself.
Yes.
I believe April or May was bullying month, so we're going to focus on that. But my beautiful friend Lana in Trinidad, her son was experiencing bullying. So she'll be calling in on our program to let us know how she took care of that, you know.
Oh, that's
it's
nice.
hurtful to know your child is going to school to learn and they come home with, you know, marks.
Yeah, that's
They're being
serious.
beaten and battered at school. So guys, focus on your children. Spend time with them. Money cannot buy the time. It could buy all the luxury that they need, but it cannot give them the love and the attention that they need. Ryan Jeffrey, good night to you. Mr. John Nimmet, good night, good night. Good night to each and every one of you. I know Ryan Jeffrey, we have the Island Zone boat cruise also coming up June 29, guys. June 29. Call me for those tickets, and it's always for a good cause. When you support the Caribbean Voice, you're supporting everyone in Guyana. Our number again is 718-542-4454. That's in Guyana. Or you could visit us on Facebook, the Caribbean Voice. If you send a message, it's confidential and someone will definitely reach out to you. How do you feel like our call center is when it comes to reaching out back in Guyana?
Well, you know what? I think in
The
Guyana,
response time.
I've been left Guyana a long time, but I'm hoping that things will get better. I don't think that they're doing too good, but I'm sure that there is work that we are doing in Guyana to help improve the system there, because it's something that's very important that we really need to address in Guyana, especially now with Facebook and all these things.
Right. So guys, if you know someone struggling with depression, domestic violence, suicidal thoughts, do reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice. If you don't feel like getting involved, we have qualified individuals on the phone line.
That's right.
Line,
yes.
And we will get them the help they deserve.
Highly trained, very qualified.
Right. And I'll speak on behalf of Apache Warrior. He had a friend in Guyana. He was very concerned about him, so he reached out to us and he was surprised. He said, Shanaz, your organization made such an impact the response rate was the same day we sent some
Oh, that's
counselor,
nice, yes.
and they talked to him, and the guy is doing very well. So thank you for all your help with that.
That's right. That's right. The Caribbean Voice, we are making an impact in Guyana, and that's a good thing. And we hope that we will get much better too.
Right, we are here
know.
to help, and our counselors are sitting there waiting just to get your calls to help your loved ones. If you can't help them, reach out to us. The Caribbean Voice. Arvin, good night to you. And my beautiful friend in Toronto, Nasima Rohaman, how you doing? The beautiful Gita Baldeo. The beautiful Shanti Jeffrey, always beautiful, always supportive of our community events. Ryan Jeffrey, good night to you. And yes, put those numbers in there and the flyer, how we could get tickets for that boat cruise in Florida. It's all happening June 29, Sip and Chat Restaurant. The Caribbean Voice presentation of Concert for Hope. Concert for Hope, June 29 in Florida. Maybe we'll have another date in Florida, and then July 13 in New York City. Our topic tonight is...
We're going to talk, tonight we were supposed to talk just about children abuse. But Shanaz, because of this little child that killed himself, I spent all day reading about this, see how we can help people with this, because, this is something that's very challenging. And when a little child take his own life, it is something for us as adults to stop and think, what can we do to help our community, our children? Here it is, a small 10-year-old child went and took his own life. I can't imagine what the parents, how tough it is for her,
the mother,
to go through this all by herself. And sometimes, Shanaz, and most of the time, we need to pay attention to our children. And as we speak later on in the program, we're going to cover that, but we need to pay attention to our children, not just send them away. Listen to them. They may be quiet, but there is a lot of noise they're making.
Not because you see them on their iPhone or their gadget or their tablets and their computer, you feel that they're okay. You need to spend time. You need to talk. And they always said, make dinner at the table. Sit down with them over dinner. Or take them out for something. Take them out for some snack, and that's when they will start talking.
Yes, absolutely. Today I received a friend request from Sarah Daisy Singh. I want to say thank you very much. I'm getting a lot of friend requests, and thank you very much, everyone. So they said, why do young children commit suicide? It is, Shanaz, it's a really hard thing for parents. It's a worst nightmare. There is perhaps nothing more shocking than hearing about a young child take their own life. It is difficult for us to comprehend that children as young as 5 could even conceive of killing themselves. The truth of the matter is they do. There has always been widely belief among adults that children, they would not know actually what to do or how to plan to commit suicide, yet they do. Our inability to acknowledge this has even impacted the focus of research on child suicide, with most investigators beginning with 12-year-old. To date, the number of young children killing themselves have been small, but they have been increasing over time. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention states that there is an average of 123 suicides a day for the very young adult. It is 1 every 5 days. The exact number are unknown, and failed attempts are not reported. As you know, there's a lot of people try to kill themselves, but nobody reports it, what I'm saying? Especially in like hinterland areas, especially in Guyana or some far out west, people will not, you wouldn't know these kind of thing. Here the following are some important facts that we need to know about child suicide. According to 2016 data from the CDC, young children are most likely to kill themselves by hanging, strangling, and suffocation, and guns are the second most common thing. So here it is, we have the facts. Children can experience feeling of depression and hopelessness, but a 2016 study found attention deficit hyperactivity disorder was a factor in 60% of suicide attempt and completion, while only 33% suffer from depression. So we could see that this is bad, attention deficit hyperactivity. Due to the similar symptoms, it may be that some children diagnosed with ADHD might actually have bipolar disorder, and that's why when you have children showing any signs or symptoms of any kind of mental health problem, a good thing to do, always take them to the doctor and discuss it with your psychiatrist or whomever it is. You can always talk to a psychotherapist.
So, Ken, what are some of the basic signs and symptoms we should be looking for as parents?
As you know what, the best thing that you can do is to have that open relationship with your children. You know that you come home every day and you see your son at a certain spot or your daughter doing a certain thing, and you see that they're not that place, they're not talkative, they're not doing the regular things that they normally do. And as parents, and you know you do that sometimes, and I do the same thing. What happened? This child is not, I see him very quiet, he's not eating, he's doing some sort of thing doesn't make sense, or he's spending too much time in the bedroom. And that's why as parents, I tell the kids, I don't want you to get in the habit of being in the bedroom all the time. Stay outside. I want to see what you're doing. I don't want you to be in the bedroom or in the basement or in the attic, sitting down all day, spending all day. Then guess what? As parents, we don't get to observe you what you're doing. So we need to pay more attention to our children and their behavior. There is a lot of signs that's there, but as a parent, you have to
spend time, so you will observe it. And adding to that, Ryan Jeffrey said, always make sure you see who they're speaking to on the iPod and the phones, because remember, they're meeting people, they're making arrangement out there, and you don't know who they're speaking to. It could be an elderly, it could be, a bully, it could be a psycho, and next thing you know, your children is out there in danger.
Exactly. And since you talk about a computer, it's always, don't put the computer inside of a bedroom. Put the computer outside, that you can always pass and take a peek at what they're doing and who they're talking to. Other research from Penn State College of Medicine found that bulimia, who would imagine that bulimia in children as young as 6 seem to be at greater risk factor than depression. So here it is, bulimia plays a very important part in suicide. A study done in 2018 that appeared in the Journal of American Association Pediatrics found that black children, have a higher risk of suicide than white children at a younger age. And indeed, since in the 90s, suicide by hanging has nearly tripled among young black males. Overall, suicide rate in white across all age group have been higher. Of interest was also the finding in between the age of 13 and 17, the trend was again reversed, with suicide rate for whites being greater than blacks. It has been speculated that the difference in the rates for the young black children may have been related to disproportionately higher exposure to violence and trauma, especially Shanaz, in places like Chicago, Baltimore, where there's a lot of gun violence and so on. There's a lot of guns in this area, in the Carolinas, in Georgia. So in this place, there will be a lot of suicide and a lot of trauma. The exact cause is, it's unknown. There are other factors that make some children more vulnerable to suicide thoughts and behavior. Bullying has been found to be a significant factor in child abuse. Now to the pervasiveness of social media, everybody's on TV, everybody's on their little tablet, on their phones, right? It is more difficult to escape being bullied even while some at home. And like we said, that's
cyberbullying.
Exactly.
Cyberbullying.
So, and when these things happen, you always report it to the police. And
that's right. Ryan Jeffrey said neglected. Angela Ramsaran said keep track of your friends, and they keep their friends. You should know who your children's friends are,
Absolutely. And even to visit your friends' family and see where they're living and how they're living and what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Don't just assume that, your friend go to so-and-so place and
they're invited for a birthday party and must know who they're going with.
Exactly. You don't know if the parents doing drugs or what they're doing. So that's one of the reasons it's good to know. There are other factors that make children, as we said, bullying. Now, due to the pervasiveness, the social media as we talk about, having these children as young as 5 and 6, they have the computer access, they have their phone, they pick up your phone, they use it. They have access to all these things. And then guess what, Shanaz? You have so much things going on TV, on the internet, on computer, that these
They're fast learners. They want to do everything that they see.
and then guess what? They may have a perpetrator, a guy there watching to see their movements or what they're doing, and invite them out to go out for tea, breakfast, and dinner. And all of this would sound good for the young kid, and they will actually end up sometime going out with them. And we will discuss that a little more.
I will read Sarah Daisy's comment. She said the number one cause of kids committing suicide is by bullying and harassment, and some parents just ignore it. Yes, a lot of parents, you know your child come home, and remember, if they're not bullying someone, they could be getting bullied. And don't look at our children that they're all innocent. When they're in front of us, they could be innocent, but take their, look upon other things that they're doing, because I've known a very innocent child and he was harassing someone in school.
Really?
Yes, firsthand harassing, making fun of a Punjabi kid because of his turban, and I found that very offensive. That I said, maybe you should wear the turban and see how it feels for you to be walking in his shoes.
Absolutely,
Come
absolutely.
from a different country to be living in here and getting bullied. Every day you have to go to school. You're going to school to learn, but there's always this distraction. John Nima, thank you very much.
It's always good to have John. John has been such an ally to our program from day one, and I want to say special thank you, John, and all of you guys who are locking in. Lee Nice, we have the Lee Nice, and so
Lee Nice respond there.
She said, I was a counselor for my son from day one. I miss it. It's gone. The comment is coming up so fast that I can't even get to read it, but I'm gonna try.
Dolly Shahid said, I checked their phones and I checked their bags. Good night, Ryan Jeffrey. How you doing? Thank you very much. Liz Paduman, good night. She's excited. We're coming to Guyana. With gadget these days, kids are exposed to so much more, especially social media. It has a lot to do with it. And when you think children are being bullied, we're speaking of cyberbullying. Adults are being cyberbullied too, Sharing, copying your messages. I know of a situation where a guy was just copying all the girls' pictures and sending it in a group chat. And that's, what would you say about that?
The bullying group chat.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Nobody should have to be bullying anybody, especially children. They're not, especially in this time, made for this kind of things. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to deal with all these things when it's happening. I just get on to Lee Knight comment. She said, I was a counselor for my son from the day he was born, in everything he would be doing growing up until he becomes a man of his own, which is his choice to join the army at 18 years old. Today, I'm a proud mama in every way. God is faithful. Amen. I see Maureen Ramcharan. Thank you very much for tuning in. I see my neighbor Debbie Roberts. Thank you very much for tuning in. Mohini Bola. She's a young girl from. You met my auntie the other day. It's her granddaughter. So thank you very much. She likes these kind of things. She will love you.
Julie
thank you for
saying good night to you, John. Thank you, Ryan Jeffrey. There's a boat cruise coming up. It's called Jamin Ponder River, and I've been to part 1, 2, and this is the 4th one. So guys, I'm urging you. It's thrown by Island Zone Radio. You'll get to meet all the radio personalities and DJs on board. Guess what? We have 3 decks, and if I'm not there, maybe Ken will be there to represent, because they have 3 decks, and each deck have their own DJ. If you love Bollywood, they have a deck for Bollywood. You want some soca chutney, they have soca chutney. You want some reggae, we have reggae. So we have something for everyone. You come on down, June 29. The number is in there for your tickets. Sarah says, structuring a child begins at home with you, the parents, and not the teacher. Very interesting, Sarah. That's right. We don't send our kids to school so the teachers can raise them and discipline them. We have to structure them so when they go to school, they give them less of a headache.
And you know what? All the training really starts at home. We as parents, we have a responsibility to help our children, to show them the right way, how to do, how to treat our children. You know what I'm saying? Let us be the greatest teacher for our children. And you always say, let us be the role model for our children.
Be the change you want to see, right?
Exactly so. Be the change that you want to see. And I always tell my boys and those who come into my way, what, I always wanted you to better me and to be a better person, to better be a human being. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue by saying other factors can include physical abuse, sexual confusion, antisocial behavior, being neglected, sexual abuse, aggressive behavior, and feeling a sense of worthlessness and hopelessness. And do you know how difficult it is, Shanaz, to be there and to feel that hopeless and worthless, that you have no value of your own self? Imagine how difficult it is for a child to feel that
Sometimes
way.
as adults we cannot understand and we cannot cope with these feelings. So of course it's 10 times more worse for a child to
Ex-
cope with something like this.
Exactly so. And the risk is also high in someone in the family who has committed suicide. Younger children seem to be more impacted by family conflicts, while for teens it's their peer relationship. The list of potential risk is endless. The important thing is to recognize that children as young as 5 do kill themselves, and what can we do? What can we do as parents? We can recognize that if the child is thinking about suicide, that there is an indication. Like I said before, as parents we must observe our children and to see who they are, and know who they are really, and what's bothering them, and when something is bothering them, to keep that open relationship going. There also, there's an old myth that we talk about to someone who says that suicide will increase, right, if you talk to children about it. And there is a study that shows that you can talk to them, not because you talk to them that means they are
Not
going to kill.
talking to them, it's talking with them.
Right, this
and
is
the
not
beautiful
true.
Dolly Shahid said, you have to be your kid's best friend. You have to make sure they want to come and speak to you. They feel comfortable enough to know that they wouldn't get reprimanded by their parents if they come and say something. You see something, say something. Ryan Jeffrey, that number again is 347-570-1638. Call that number and let's go jamming upon the river.
I like that, jamming upon the river. And we have to support DJ Fest. He has been supportive to all of us. It's a little too soon, but I want to go. I want to go support him. In fact, next week I'm off. I'm home on Saturday, but I want to go to the Ngamo show.
No, he's gonna follow me to Diraj because he wants to see Diraj dance again. And guess what? It's girls' night out, so we could take you with us. Auntie Una will be going too.
She's going to, Lord Jesus. So then Geeta might have to end up going too.
So we're all going, and it's gonna be a bunch of girls, and Ken's gonna be our bodyguard.
Oh Jesus. Anyway,
So guys, Hangama is next Saturday. It's done by Mr. Diraj, the dancing sensational. Check it out. My Facebook wall has the flyer, and I'll see you guys there. That is this Saturday, May 4th. Do check out our programs on Spectrum TV, channel 96 every Saturday from 4 p.m. towards 8, and Island Zone Radio every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. right here. The Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. Well, we have a beautiful song by the artist in Trinidad, Mr. Hitman, who's locked on listening to us, always supporting us, the Caribbean Voice, and a really good friend of myself. Well, we'll play his vocals first. We'll give you guys a tune, and then he was very intrigued and he's very disturbed about bullying, the topic we're talking about tonight. So we do have a message from Hitman, but we'll take a song first. Let's go.
While Arvin is getting that song together, let me finish off here and close off this set of arguments. With young children, it's important to ask them directly if they're having any thoughts of harming themselves, or as they will usually not offer. Children would not come to you and say, "Mommy, I want to kill myself."
No,
they would not do that. So as parents, we need to have that open conversation and chit chat with our kids and find out what's going on. You could never go wrong with talking and listening to your child. Ignoring their thoughts and feelings is much more of a problem and can lead to a deadly result. Imagine that your child go and kill themselves and not knowing why this child killed him or herself. So,
Or knowing that they wanted to talk to you, the parent, and you didn't give them that time. You didn't take them out for that, that talk. It will bother you. And the beautiful Bibi Amat said, you need to give your children their space and trust their issues. Well, sometimes we do. We could give them space, but, after developing a close relationship with them and observing them, then that's when you become comfortable enough to know that, they're mature. They could make good judgments. But if you know your child is very fragile, don't give them that much space.
Exactly. So, and like we said again, being a good parent. So when I say being a good parent, be there for your children. It's different now. That long time when parents believe that they must be separated from their children. Now in the United States and Guyana, now the relationship is different.
I've seen a lot more dads involved in their their schools and their kids going to the PTA. their classroom, and that's a plus, back home again. You always see the moms going to school because maybe the mom was home, she had more time, but now, I'm passing the schools every morning and I've seen so much more dads are involved. They have donuts with dad, they have the Home Depot day that your dad could take you to home, the class trip.
Exactly. Our song is coming in 1 minute, and so I want to tell people that parents, if you know this is a serious topic, and if you know as parents that you cannot handle these kind of conversation with your children, always get someone in the family who you can trust to talk to
Or
your
a
kids.
professional,
And
you don't
exactly,
want, you don't
that's
want
where I
your
was
kids
going
to
to.
gain friends outside. You don't know who the friends will be. They might be preying on their weakness, their weak sides, So always know who your kids are speaking to. Where's our DJ?
That's
Dolly
right.
Shahid, good night to you. John Namat, Liz, good night. Debbie Roberts, how you doing? Good night to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio. Derek Maharaj, good night to you. Thank you very much. I know we have so much entertainment shows on our television program and online. We do need some informative program. Hey, good night to Bibi Amina. How you doing tonight? Let's go with that beautiful song, and we'll read Arjuna Madre's comment. It's sad that my best friend, 16-year-old son, and 2 other teens just lost their lives over the weekend. Do put more comments in there, Arjuna. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's go with that song. Mary Ann Lou, good night. Beautiful song indeed. Well, we have some clips behind us playing. It's the beautiful Bibi Ahmad, our Caribbean Voice member. and the team
You
in
ready?
Guyana, giving out all the stuff we sent out last 2 weeks. We have a nice song coming up by Hitman. Good night to Mr. Anand Budram, the founder of the Caribbean Voice. I know Anand is making his way towards Trinidad as we are looking to get alliances in Trinidad as well to build that foundation, what we have in Guyana, the resources and making a difference.
That's exactly so. And Shanaz, I've already started to collect stuff too. I've already got about near 200 Pampers. Today I saw someone throw out a pair of crutches, so I pick it up and we'll be sending all of that to Guyana. So, with all of us and all the organization, if we all team up together and, like Anand said, together as a team, we will do much more for Guyana, which will be a good thing. A lot of people will benefit from the crutches and so on and wheelchairs in Guyana.
I mean, that was a room full of supplies and it went so fast. I mean, they're still in need of wheelchairs, and Guyana is really in need of wheelchairs and the medical supplies. There you have a woman collecting a walker for a friend, and there's so much people that came out for walkers and wheelchairs and potties and a shower bed here and there, clothing. So that room, thanks to Pandit Suresh Sugrim for lending us the humanitarian mission, and we made use of that building, and they also have so much events happening there. So guys, do get in touch with us. So many things happening with Caribbean Voice and Suresh Sugrim's building in Guyana, the humanitarian mission.
That's good. So our DJ is ready to play his song.
What you want? Yeah. Oh gosh. Now what you want? I'm young.
Prabhu, known as the Hitman, and we all know him for his artists and all his beautiful songs, but hey, he was annoyed when it comes to bullying and when it comes to bullying of someone that you really love. So let's take a message by Mr. Hitman talking about bullying. Arjuna Madre, well, they said they had a car accident Thursday evening in Long Island that took their lives. Sorry about that. We send our deepest sympathies from the Caribbean Voice to their loved one, their family and friends. Is it indeed a very powerful song? And I have another beautiful song coming up right after this talk with Mr. Hitman. Maureen Ramcharan, good night to you. Mr. John Nimit, thank you very much. Every Monday, 8 till 10 p.m., the Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. Thank you, Avida Danraj. That's right, Thursday I'll be back again on Island Zone Radio, Shanaz Musical Sensation, the entertainment segment. Avida Danraj, thank you very much. Doris Dairam, how are you doing? Avida, thank you. Angela Ramsaran, and good night to my beautiful friend, Miss Sonia. The beautiful Sonia, wonderful friend indeed.
Oh, I didn't. What happened to Sonia Debbie? Then I didn't see her.
You missed her. Well, that Buddy Singh is her Rocky brother, and she have a job out of state, so she's there.
Oh, okay, I missed
Something
her.
important came up.
Oh, good for her. She's an important lady.
She's a very important lady and very educated and very knowledgeable. So now you can see why we're friends.
And we can probably bring her in studio one day to
She
talk
is
about some.
anxiously awaiting here.
Really?
Yes.
So we could bring her in one day and we talk about some important things. While Arvin is getting the little speech by Hitman,
Mr. Hitman.
I can continue my.
It says, don't hold me back, right? Do not hold. And if you feel like you're surrounded by negative folks, well, break loose. Set yourself free. Empower yourself by getting a new bunch of friends. And sometimes you don't need a bunch of friends. Sometimes you're better alone. You're better off alone.
I hear so many ladies saying the same thing.
I'm not talking about relationship. I'm talking about friends.
I know, right?
Ken is talking about relationship. Well, it goes both ways. You know, if you're in a bad relationship, set yourself free. Today is always a good day to start over.
That's you're absolutely correct.
Rip that page out of that book and get a new page.
All right. So let's talk about 10 things that parents can do to prevent suicide. And we're talking about this because that little child that killed himself. As children growing up into teenagers, it becomes more challenging for parents to know what they are thinking and feeling. When do they normally grow up and down of adolescent becomes something to worry about? And from experience, I'm talking. I hear so many people telling me, we have to watch our children now when they start to grow up, 16, 17. It's going to be so challenging.
Teenagers, stuff raising teenagers, and remember, you were there once, so everything that you don't like or you were giving your parents a hard time, this is your chance to, don't be that parent. I'm sure growing up, our parents were tough.
Absolutely. Oh, my mother beat me so bad. I mean, you have to do things her way, you know what I'm saying?
I think I was a good daughter. I never got in trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You're always a good girl. Anyway, so let's go. Let's talk. The more you know.
But that's because I had a good relationship with both of my parents, my mom and my dad, so we could always talk.
That's nice.
And that's what is important.
And I'm I'm certainly sure that they are proud of the woman you are today.
Very proud because, you have to, they give you a heart and you have to love and put love into others. And I'm not a person who goes into mimicking and talking bad about people. I feel like woman empowerment. I feel like people empowerment, Let's empower the world. Why not?
Exactly. So it's a good thing. So, you know what? It goes to say that the more as parents we know, the more we will know how to deal with our children. Speaking
of my mother, I must have to say good night to my beautiful mom, Miss Bibi Muhammad. She joined us on the queue right there. Good night, good night. And let's read Mr. Anand Budram's comment.
Your job as a parent is to know your child so you can always be able to tell when something is not right. And once that seems to be the case, you can talk to your child, but always remember that unless you are a trained clinical counselor, get counseling. All schools have counselor. Never pretend to be a counselor. You may mean well, but end up making things worse. And that is so true. That goes to sometimes we always as laymen, something happens, we always run to give advice. And I have learned to that, hold back a little bit. You don't know everything. And so
sometimes you do need
take
professional
help. Exactly.
And
So
when it comes to mental health, it's not a joke. It's
all
serious
right.
business.
So our DJ is ready to play the message for us.
Let's go listen to Mr. Hitman from Trinidad talk
I saw a
about
video
bullying.
too, and it was very heartbreaking. I saw this little kid. He was being bullied by a group of kids in the same school. And you know what? My heart went out for this kid and his family. Because in that same video, you saw his mom was really crying and upset and hurting about something like that. You know what? We need to stop that. Parents need to come out and talk to the kids if they know their kids are doing something like that. You know what? Because if the shoes was on the other foot, trust me, that feeling not right. That hurt, that pain, not right. You gotta stop this bullying. For the kids that have been bullied, come out, speak out. Talk to a friend, tell a teacher, talk to your parents. Don't keep it there, because we by seeing a video like this, we see what kids really go through. I gotta say, big up to Mr. Ian Allen for taking up that, and making it more aware. And this is my way of getting it out there. I gotta say, props to my friend John from Queens for doing this interview, for doing this little clip for us, highlighting that. Because John was one of the guys who went and had a talk with the mom of the little guy, right? And we all have we part in. What we would say, stop that bullying. Somebody, anybody, know anything about something like that going through in schools, be it where, come out and say something, and let's try to get that to the end. We gotta spread love. We gotta teach the children love. That's what it is about. But that thing ain't nice.
That was Mr. Hitman. We always know him for his music, beautiful entertainment. But yes, he's spreading some positive message. And the person and the victim he's talking about is my beautiful friend from Trinidad, who put her foot down. She went into the school and tell them it's unacceptable. I'm not going to take my son getting abused every day from bullies, You have to go into school. You have to get involved and speak to the teachers and get the other parent of the child, the bully, get them involved as well. So she put her foot down. She went to the school and she took things in her own hand to stop bullying, because it was painful for her day after day to see her kids coming home being bullied, sad, depressed, crying.
Absolutely. And as a parent, you would want to know, Lord, how can I help my child, and what the future is going to hold?
You feel helpless as a parent to see your children going through something like
yes,
that.
And then, this can affect a child, as we know that the worst could be that a child could commit suicide. So that's why, as children, you don't want your children to be involved with this. And as I always tell my kids, do not try to bully anybody. Don't bully anybody. Always try to be kind and good and courteous to people, those who you meet. Because, Sharon, Shanaz, on a daily basis, you don't know what people are going through in their homes when they're coming to school. We all have our home life, and we all do have problems now and again.
And if parents are going through a rough time, or the kids see the parents fighting all the time, sometimes it affects them also in school, or it affects their behavior, and they will take this anger out on their peers, on their classmates.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit of how we can help kids preventing suicide. Don't let your teens' depression or anxiety snowball. Maybe your child is merely having a bad day, but Shanaz, if you see that your child behavior is going on for a week and 2 weeks, that is the right time to go and seek professional help. The fact is that 9 in 10 teens who take their own lives, they meet the criteria for a diagnosis of psychiatric or mental health condition or disorder. More than half of them with a mood disorder such as depression or anxiety. Depressed people often retreat into themselves when secretly they are crying out for help or to be rescued. And sometimes, that when you see people doing this, like I was saying earlier, is that when you see they're trying to commit suicide, they're crying for help. They need help.
They need
yes, they want somebody to come and rescue them, to help them from going that. Sometimes they don't even want to kill themselves or commit any
but they're
suicide.
just trying to get your attention. They're dying. They're screaming for help.
And sometimes, like I said, sometimes people just put up and it's figurative terms that someone would hold a big signboard and saying, I want to kill myself. And technically, they really don't want to kill themselves. It's the attention that they need to get inside of them, and that they're crying out so much for help. And so that is where you, as a family member, you step in, or you get help from the doctor. Let's not wait for children or you to come to us, like I said earlier, with problem or concern. We as parents, we need to know. We know better. We should know how about our children, what they like and what they're not like. Knock on the door, park yourself on their bed, and say, you seem sad. Would you like to talk to me? How can I help you? You don't have to go through this all by yourself. Mommy and daddy is here to help you with the burden that life throws you. And everyday life is not easy. It's tough.
It's tough for kids as well, going through
schools. Yeah, exactly. So.
And Lena said, as a parent, she was always there for her son, and she noticed this look. When he's happy, she noticed it. When she's sad, when her son is sad, she noticed it. I always looked out for his signs, and I act the right way. Well, sometimes,
Well, one of the good things with Lena is that Lena is a registered nurse in Florida, and she has, she had all this training in nursing school how to observe things, and I'm sure with her experience, she will be able to help a lot of people and to know what to look for and what not to look for. Listen, even when your teen is not talking, and like I tell my boys sometime, and I say to people, I may not be listening, but I'm hearing, and my mother always used to tell me, I'm not watching, but I see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, with your children being quiet, they may be telling you a whole lot of things, but as parents, you have to be proactive and you have to find out what's really going on with them.
Sometimes we get tired of them. We call them chatterbox. At some age, they will be talking non-stop. You would love for them to shut up sometime, right? And when they do shut up, that's when you notice something is off.
Exactly.
So let them speak, entertain them. If it's something silly, it's always good to bring it out. That's their personality.
Yes, and sometimes when you have kids like that, you have to be very careful that sometimes parents, they have a hard day at work and they want to come and they don't sometimes you just want peace and quietness, but sometimes it's good to listen to the children and hear what they are saying. Like we said, they make a lot of noise quietly.
Yes.
Ryan
Jeffrey said, I teach my son at the age of 6 years to stand up to bullies. That's a good thing. Yes, always speak to them and make sure they feel comfortable enough to say that this is not right. Someone is pulling my hair, they're pulling my book bag, the little things that start out easy. And if you don't say something, the bully will take more and more advantage to see, if they have a victim, they could be the big guy and make you look like the smaller person.
Exactly.
Stand up to bully.
Exactly so. Most kids think about suicide tips. When you see they do that, is that they're sending a message for you. They're telling you how difficult it is for them to carry on and to move on daily to live like this, with their troubled behavior and action. Also, studies have found that one trait common to families affected by a son or daughter suicide is poor communication between parents and a child. And like we said, lack of parenting, proper parenting, not paying attention to your child. And here it is, the study have really confirmed this, that what we were saying all along. However, there are usually 3 or more issues or factors going on, all at one time in a child's life. And at the same time, when he or she is talking and thinking about it, they're trying to really save their lives. Which kids are at the highest risk for committing suicide? That would include like major loss. If a child lost a parent and like the child in Ghana, despite it happened such a long time, it could really tell an effect on a child many, many years after. So the loss of a mother, a father, a breakup, sometimes we as parents, we just want to do what we want to do, but we forget that we have our children who really depend on us for a stable life, how we do. And Kevin always tells me, Daddy, I don't know if you and Mommy left, what's going to happen to us, how we are going to move on. So we talk about substance abuse. Also, if you have your both parents or one parents are committing, doing drugs, it could cause a problem, and there's a strain in the relationship and the family. Peer pressure, peer and social pressure. We have access to weapons, public humiliation. You imagine that you have a child going to school and people saying, "Oh, your son is fat," or calling your son fatso and all these names. And that's why I said to children, stop these name calling. Don't refer to people as fat or slim. And you know, I keep saying that all the time. Severe chronic pain. It's not, you know pain how it is. Chronic medical condition, impulsive and aggressiveness. In fact, to be very honest with you, as we're talking about children, I don't want to tell you the store. I don't want to name the store, but you know exactly the store I'm talking about. Actually, I went to get some fruits and I saw a young man, probably about 17, 18 years old, and he was from Guyanese parentage. And, you know, I said, I make a joke and I said, "What happened? You broke your hand?" And then he said, no, I fractured it. And I said, "Wait, you're talking to a nurse now. I know the difference. I'm from, you know what I'm saying." And I said, something said to ask him how it happened. And he said to me that, you know what, I was so upset that I punched the wall and I fractured my hand. And then I stopped and I said, "You're a young man." And he wanted to listen to what I had to say, and it was a good time for me to let him know, because I was in a good mood too, preparing for chutney
And
wine.
he could talk.
Yes, I am a talker, and
He
so
can get in your head if you ask me.
and so Shanas, right there, I spent like 15 minutes with him, and I told him, I said, "You know what? You will have to, when you get upset, know how to channel this aggression and this upset. You know what I'm saying? Try to read a book, think about the things." I said, "You don't want, when you grow up and become an older guy, you start to beat your wife and you abuse your wife and you abuse things." I said, "Try to channel these negative thoughts into something that is positive." I said, "You're a young man, you have lots of time to do this, okay? You have family history of suicide. You see that sometime a mother or father decide that they want to take their own lives. And so here it is, you set an example now, that a negative example, that your child now would want to go and try to commit suicide because anything little bother him, that you would not, you would know exactly what to do."
Nena Chunilal, good night to you. She's saying good night to each and every one of you. Locked onto Island Zone Radio, Diaram. Doris Diaram, good night to you. Gita Baldeo, good night. Avida Danraj,
Okay.
Arjuna Madre. She's saying it's always important to say good night, good morning, good
Ask
evening
him.
to your kids. Arjuna said there's always a way to start a conversation.
Exactly so.
Harun Abbas said too many Guyanese parents don't pay close attention to their kids. They need to set aside time for their kids. That's right. I believe in that. And every night is family night. If you can't make the conversation every night, at least spend time with them. Give them that attention. We always seem to be distracted.
And also he says that observe your kids' behavior and look for signs of cyberbullying, like uneasy behavior. We missed that.
We'll get back to your comment. Thank you. Una said, never stop your children. Let them talk, ask questions, and be open about it. John Nimmet said, nobody wants to commit suicide, but sometimes there is a narrowing of consciousness.
You know what, like I said, Shanaz, it's not easy. Life can be very, and we could have a whole long conversation with this. I can carry on with life, and because of some experience, and life is not easy. But I have to say that, after one time is another, and not everything lasts forever. You have a problem today, tomorrow you might be able to solve it. And, the thing is that, like you said, you have a lot of good friends, and that's one of the good things, is that you have people who can embrace you when you have problems in life. It's a good thing to always talk to people. In fact, even when you go to church, you can even stop a police officer on the road, and I'm certainly sure that they would listen to you. There is so much hotlines in New York, if you're living in New York, that you could talk to. I see my sister tune in, Ishri Anita Daulat Ram. She's in Jamaica having her vacation. I spoke to her this morning.
She's tuned into the Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. Good night to each and every one of you. Angela Ramsaran said, depression is so bad it could lead to suicide. That's right.
Absolutely. And, if you're a good thing to follow as parents is your instincts tell you. If it tells you something that a teenager might be in danger to himself, heed your instincts and don't allow him or the child to be left alone. it's no good.
John Demet said the last time he asked someone what happened to his arm in the store, he got punched in the nose. So you're taking a chance asking them what's wrong with your arm. And then Budram said, Angela, depression is one of two states leading to depression. Anxiety is the other. Thank you very much. Mr. Ryan Jeffrey said, Harun Abbas, please copy and paste what you said before. Thank you very much. Let's read Line's comment. She said, when parents are too strict, your child is afraid to talk to parents. Some parents still have the old-fashioned mentality like in Guyana. No, welcome to America, parents. Open up and get involved. Great advice, Line. Thank you very much. Open up and get involved in your children's life.
Absolutely. You have to get involved. You have to know what's going on in their lives. And I know I have two young men that's coming up, and I have to prepare now how to embrace what they're going to come. And I want them to be, Shanaz, the important thing is that we have kids. And as parents, you have a good job, I have a good job. And, despite whether you're rich or you poor, you want to instill in your children good values in life, love, respect, you know what I'm saying? So, and these will take you a far way. And one of the things that, like I said, far way, one of the things, although I was not a popular guy like now, I came from poor beginning, and I came here all alone in the United States. But I believe, and I say it all the time, that I believe that one of the couple of things that helped me really in the United States and in life is just being kind and polite in all those who I have reached in my life. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the things that, and I tell people, no matter whatever you do, always be truthful to yourself and be truthful to people. Don't start to tell lies to people and be dishonest with people. People will not trust you. They will not give you a break in life. So one of the best things that young people could do is to do that. Always follow your instinct with your children. Don't let it go unnoticed. Also, it is better to overreact than underreact, and especially when it comes to suicide. You don't want to say, "Oh my God, my son, he's quiet. He's not saying anything. He's not talking to me. What should I do? Should I leave him alone?" Or if your son said, "I feel like killing myself," and you said, "Let him go sleep."
He'll wake up. He'll feel better.
And next thing you know, you wake up and you find that your child is dead.
Give them that attention. Give them that time so they could see.
Exactly. So, and this what I'm going to say is very important, and I'm trying to see how I could cut things because I know time is moving for us. How to communicate with and listen to your teen. Never shrug off threats of suicide, what I was saying just now, as a typical teenager melodrama. Any written or verbal statements like "I want to die" or I don't care anymore" should be taken seriously. Often children who attempt suicide have been telling their parents repeatedly that they intend to kill themselves. Most research support people who openly threaten suicide don't really intend to kill themselves. And they don't want to take their own life, and that the threat is desperate plea for help. Like we said before, while that is so true, much of the time when a mother or father wouldn't want to take the risk to be wrong, like I said just now, you see a child say these things, you pay attention and you take heed of what they're saying. Any of these are red flags, warrants your immediate attention and action by seeking professional help right away. Nothing matters. I wonder how many people would come to my funeral. When you hear people saying like, "Oh my God, when I dead, who's going to come to my funeral?" and how much money is going to be there? All those things are red flag. Also, when you see people giving away stuff, Shanaz, and this now is from experience, you see somebody got a house and they're giving away the table, the chair, they're giving away
giving away stuff.
You know what I'm saying? You wanted to know why they're doing this, especially if you know the person. Sometimes they said, "I wish if I could go to sleep and never wake up." I hear people say this all the time. You wouldn't have to worry about me any longer. People say that.
Yes,
"Oh my God, you don't have to worry me next." All the problem like that, especially some alcoholics say that. You know what? You wouldn't have to worry about me
But
any
for
longer.
parents, think about it twice. If you have children, you're leaving them with that burden, and that is mental health issue you'll be raising your kids with. If you leave one parent commit suicide, the other parent will be dealing with that.
Exactly.
Raising children with mental health issues.
And I just want to add this piece to say that a lot of times parents, when you hear your child say, like they say, I want to kill myself and I want to. You mad? What's wrong with you? You crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's how people really approach
You
it,
need to speak to them
especially.
with empathy.
Yes, and in a non-judgmental way. I always like to use the word in a non-judgmental way. You, if you have a kid that's
Not
saying
because
all
you
these
see
things,
life beautiful as a rose, they should be seeing it, and you don't make them feel bad for seeing it the way they're seeing it. But it's good to see it on their level.
exactly. So, the other thing is that if your child, come and say these kind of things, as one of the best thing that you can do is open up the conversation, open for dialogue. You want to get into your child and see what's going on, what they're thinking about. Are they really want to kill themselves? Do they have any plans? And you want to find out these things. And if a child come to you and say, listen, I want to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself, you always stay with that person. Don't let them out of your sight. And you call 911. Don't take it upon yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to deal with this. No, you cannot. And don't curse them and tell them you're mad and you're crazy, because I have heard parents say these kind of things to their children and so on, and you give them the love and the attention they need, because they are in tremendous pain, like I said, and they are begging for love. A lot of times I've met people in my practice, and older parents, sometimes they don't know all these things, and that's why sometimes we bring these conversations, that me and you would come on a Monday evening, come to this conversation, and at least we get somebody to help and to share our knowledge and to let them know that if these things come and knock at your door, you would know exactly how to help them. To see your child so troubled, it's hard for any parents. Nevertheless, the immediate focus has to be on consoling. You will tend to, for your feelings later, in a calm voice, you might want to say, I see, you must really, really be hurting. Let's talk. So we're going to try to
Always
get our...
leave room for conversation. Always give them room for that. Hey, good night to Mr. Waterflow. Mr. Waterflow is one of the artists representing Homeland Guyana 592. He made a beautiful song for suicide. And I know a lot of artists are making songs for us, the Caribbean Voice. If you'd like to give us your song, do reach out to us or email it to shenazmusicalsensation1@gmail.com. And we will play it right here on the Mind Body Connection for you. Actually, speaking of an artist, I have a beautiful song coming right up. Mr. John Namet, thank you very much. He said, be humble, be kind, and be polite. Waterflow, good night. Angela Ramsran, thank you very much. Anand Budram said, you need counseling. If you're going through depression, you always need counseling, or the depression will be lingering behind you. It's not going to leave you. Arjuna Madre, thank you very much. Good night, Mr. Waterflow. Let's go to that song, DJ.
I think Arjun said he have something for us to a walk or a cane or something.
We'll definitely make it your way to pick that up. Thank you very much. that song had a great message behind it, and we'll put the video link so you guys could see it. And hey Liz, thank you very much. She said suicidal people don't want to always talk. They want to escape this world and pain and brokenness they are feeling inside. A few might want to talk. Well, thank you very much. As we said, the
Liz,
key to all of this is education. But yes, we have some educated people around the world also. We've been reading the headlines. Not just educated, rich, like the girl who owned that company with the handbag. I forgot who died by suicide. You guys know who I'm talking about. You know, so it's educated, they're rich. They don't have a category for committing
exactly. So
suicide.
rich, poor.
Right.
So, and, you know, anyone, I want to respond to Liz' comment. And Liz, thank you very much for your comment. And that's why when a patient or someone is in this state, that is when you take them to the hospital, to the emergency room, so that they could get some medication that would help them to come back to themselves, and probably will take them some time, but they will definitely, anytime a patient is in that depressive state, you want them to get some emergency care, and this would not, don't take that responsibility, and this go for anyone. If you have any family member who is home and doesn't want to really talk, doesn't open up, it's the right time to seek medical help. Call someone and ask them. You know, even in New York, you don't know what to do, you can call 911 or you can call 311. But always, if anytime you hear that someone wants to kill themselves, you stay with that individual and don't let them out of your eyesight, because at the moment that you move, that's the time they're going to do it. You know, we just have a couple more things that we want to share with you before we close this program.
You can also call us, the Caribbean Voice, at 718-542-4454. We have counselors around the world, especially in homeland Guyana, to reach out to you and your loved ones to talk to. And everything you say to the Caribbean Voice is strictly confidential.
Yes, exactly. So, and I'm so glad, you know what, I see Anand say he's going to be here next week. Unfortunately, we apologize that he couldn't make it in today, but hope that next week that he is going to be in studio with us, because we were supposed to talk about children abuse today, but unfortunately we not get carried away. But this story was, people were asking how come a little child could kill themselves and what can we do. I was at the show. Everywhere I go, Shanaz, somebody's asking about how come this child kill himself. And I was listening to the radio yesterday, and people were asking. And that's why I decided today to, like I said, I was reading all day how I could bring information to you guys. And then I just want to share a couple more things. Share your feelings. Let your teen know he or she is not alone in this world, and that everyone feels sad or depressed or anxious now and again. You know what? We all go through that, including mom and your dad. And without minimizing this anguish or his anguish, be reassuring that this bad time, like I said, would not last forever. It's just going to pass. It's just for a moment. Things, things truly will get better, and you wouldn't need to get to help your child go through this counseling. You know what? That's where it comes, where you will have to support your child in this difficult time. It's not a time to curse. To fight with your child. This is the time to support. This is the time to support your child and know that you are there to help them in this difficult time. Because you know the truth of the matter is, Shanaz, is that you and I, you know, I'm going to be 55 soon, and I know you.
That's very young.
You are young too. So I'm young too, and I know we had our shares of problem in life where things was bad, and sometimes we want to know what can we do, how can I get out of the situation, what should I do,
take the good thing, one day at a time.
Exactly. So I know that you can always call me too, Shanaz, and that's the good thing that I could always call you.
It's good to have friends. Genuine friends, I say friends loosely.
Yes.
Genuine friends, because I've been getting so much messages recently said, watch your friend zone, and it's like, watch your friend zone. Not everybody that smiles at you are your friends. You have enemies behind. So I choose my friends wisely, and Auntie Una got that. She said, Kate Spade, that's right. Kate Spade is this famous celebrity.
Kate Spade, yes, I remember
that one. Maharani Dubey, good night to you. Hey, Angela, good night, good night. Anand Budram said the song expressed the truth about suicide. No one really wants to die. People simply just want to get away from the pain. Una said her sister was very educated. She was a teacher, I believe, and she committed suicide. So it doesn't have standards. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be rich, educated or uneducated. So good night to each and every one of you. And hope you guys are enjoying our conversation every Monday right here on Island Zone Radio. Thank you to DJ Fest, always entertaining us and guests giving us more time when it comes to getting more programs, more educational programs like this. We have a youth session coming up pretty soon, and I met a very beautiful girl. She's 23 years old, and she is an RN.
Oh, beautiful.
RN, Guyanese Heritage. She came to support Chutney Wine, and
Really? That's
yes,
nice.
from New Jersey. And she said, Auntie Shanaz, her starting salary as an RN of 23 years was $86,000.
Yeah, she's marketable.
Yes, and her parents. I was talking to her dad. He came to buy tickets for Chutney Wine. He said, I encourage my kids to do whatever they are happy with.
That's right.
And let them choose their path. He finances all their education, but he was happy to guide her towards her goal of becoming an RN. And she said, at 23 years old, I don't know what to do with $86,000 per
Wow.
year. So, what?
Let her donate some to the Caribbean
She'll
Boys.
be donating it for Caribbean Boys, that's right. And, making wise choices. But, it's good to see your kids doing well.
Absolutely. So I've met so much young RNs in the world.
So they'll be joining our conversation. We have two. They're all different ages. We have Ken kids. I have my friend's kids. We have so much kids that will be joining our column here. So to get the younger viewers, we want your children to watch the Caribbean Voice, our entertainment segment, our very communicative open session with our children as they talk about what's happening in society, what's happening in school, and all the questions you would like to ask. Reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice. We would like to get in their minds and their heads to see what improvement they would like to see living in America.
Absolutely. And in closing off my little statement, the goal is to rebuild our children, their confidence and their self-esteem. So parents, here it is. I try my best to give you all the information I can this evening. I hope that you learned something here tonight, right?
Mr. Ravindra said, suicide is happening every day around us, with kids being bullied at school, even in adults losing their jobs, life falling apart. Kids are growing up think that committing suicide is easy way of ending their lives. Sometimes you might think it's an end, but it's a beginning of a whole new set of trauma that you're leaving behind for your kids. Liz said, Liz is new to Island Zone Radio, so Liz, thank you very much for tuning in. Liz said it's sad how suicide rate is rising in Guyana, and the age range is 10 years who just committed suicide. That's very sad indeed. We are coming to Guyana. We have a stage show planned with some very educational messages coming to Homeland Guyana, August 3rd and August 2nd. We are coming. Angela Ramstorn, good night to you. Mr. Waterflow, how are you doing? Gita Baldeo, good night to you. What's your next topic? What would you like us to talk about next week right here on Island Zone Radio? Inbox Ken or myself or Mr. Anand Budram, and we'll get all the information ready so we can interact with you guys, because we love your comments, and it seems like everyone is commenting tonight. Mr. Harun Abbas said, restore their self-respect and confidence. Do not put them down or think that they can have changed overnight.
Absolutely. He's correct.
Things take time. It's a slow process. And I have a beautiful song. Let's read Varshini's comment. Varshini says, suicide is not the answer to your problem. Thank you to the beautiful Varshini.
And Varshini is just about 16 years old.
So she'll be joining our youth panel, youth discussion. Lene, thank you very much. And we have a beautiful song. I believe our DJ have it ready. It's titled One Day at a Time. And it's a good listen. Take a listen. Beautiful song indeed, and I know a lot of you are not Christian, but I'm not a Christian, but it got to me, and I love the words of it. I could sing it too.
All right. I know I would not be surprised if you come here and sing one day, or you come and dance, because you can do all of that.
Thank you very much. Hey, Indra, Devi, Lakan, good night to you from Long Beach. You're all locked onto Island Zone Radio every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. is the Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. We love to get you involved in our conversation. Thank you very much, Line. And yes, Mr. Waterflow, he needs to pray and he needs to, make a good song about suicide, sharing some message about suicide. Ryan Jeffrey, good night to you. And yes, we have some very beautiful song. If you like to play a song or dedicate a song, do inbox Mr. Kenneth, Mr. Anand, or myself, and we'll play it on our next session right here every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. We love playing your selection for you.
Yes, and next week we will talk about abuse. We will continue with children abuse because, like I said, sometimes we could bounce things off from one topic to another, and that's not really the intention we want to do. You know what I'm saying? But today, unfortunately, this little child,
10
choose
years
took his
old.
own life, and there was a lot of conversation going around. So that's why, part of our conversation here is what's really going on
What's
in our
happening in our community, the topic, what's making Facebook posts. So we take all that's happening, and we do have the group called Voices Against Violence on Facebook. Join it, share things to that page, and add us, the Caribbean Voice, on Facebook as well. Follow us, and if you need something or you need someone, talk to us. 718, our number is right behind Ken there, and you could talk to anyone of our members of the Caribbean Voice. Add us on Facebook, and time fly when you're having fun. Time fly when we're spending quality time with you guys right here on Island Zone Radio. 5 minutes of your time could
save a life.
And suicide prevention is
Everybody's business.
Mr. Anand Budram, the president, is getting ready to go to Trinidad. We need to build bridges,
That's beautiful.
bring awareness to what's happening, and help everyone around the world.
And I know he will do a good job because he has so much knowledge in all of this.
And we already have a very strong structure in Guyana. So if you're in Trinidad and you like to meet up with Mr. Anand or know where he's going to be for a presentation, he's going for a conference, I believe it's a 3-day conference, and he'll be love to meet you guys in Trinidad. Mr. Hitman, he'll be seeing, and my beautiful friend Lana Maharaj Budu in Trinidad, good night to you. He'll be seeing you guys. Maharani Dubey, good night to you. Anything else you'd like to add, please feel free to inbox us.
Well, thank you very much for Indra Devi Lakan. Keep up the good work. Yeah, we are trying our very best to bring you good information week after week.
And Lene said, thank you guys. Thank you, Shanaz and Ken. Always a pleasure being with you. We enjoy being here, sharing our Monday evening with you guys. If you'd like to get another topic, inbox Ken and we'll get that topic out for you. Maharani Dubey, thank you very much. Auntie Nalini, was fun dancing with you Saturday at Chutney Wine, supporting my friend Mr. Apache Warrior and all the wonderful DJs and artists who was there volunteering their time for a very worthwhile cause. Big up to Mr. Buddy Singh and his team that made it possible for a beautiful show like that to happen in Homeland, right in Queens, Amazur Concert Hall. And mark your calendars, every April, I believe is the last Saturday in April, is Chutney Wine NYC. Hiram was there this year and he's going back next year. And we have so many friends who said, save a seat for me, next year we'll be there.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
And it's continue to grow. It's a wonderful cause, and Chutney Wine has been out for almost 4 years, getting bigger and better.
That's right, that's right. Great job, guys.
Thank you very much, Line. And on that note, we'll give Mr. Kenneth the microphone to wrap up.
Well, I want to say, I always think about you guys, and some of you I keep in touch with. We talk every morning on Facebook. I want to say thank you very much to all of you for continuing supporting this program. We do appreciate it. We want to acknowledge all your support. Thank you very much. I know this weekend we have to go and support D-Raj. The man is out of retirement.
That's right. We have to see D-Raj dance. Auntie Nalini is going there. Auntie Una will be there. And yes, we will see you guys there. It's the flyers on my Facebook. Do support him. He's always supporting whenever he danced for Concert of Hope once.
Oh, that's nice.
And the link is on YouTube. John from Queens put it up. We got quite a number of views on that one because when he danced, he could really dance.
He could shake it.
He could really shake it.
Yes.
That's right. And we love bringing you guys something fun. As much as we we have a rough week. Saturday is the day to go out. If we are having, husband and wife, kids day, make time for everyone. You have family, you have sisters. Everybody need a little bit of your time, a little bit of
Exactly
your
so.
attention.
Yes,
If you have
yes.
someone sick, do pay them a visit.
That's until next time, guys. Have a very pleasant week ahead of you. Be safe.
Russell, good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio. Mr. John Nimmer, thank you very much. He said, Ken, it looks like that palm tree behind you is growing. Well, that's dangerous to have a palm tree growing behind Ken. Thank you very much. We always love your humor. Angela, good night, good night. Love is in the air, and love is always in the air. Do join me on Thursday, Shanaz Musical Sensation, as I have some soca tunes ready for you.
All right.
We'll be dancing. And then next week, well, it's getting different. Hey, I have so many surprises coming up.
Really?
Yes. Who would like to see Indian soap opera on TV? Who would like to see Ramayan on TV? I mean, directly from India. That's what I'm talking about. And live Ramayan in the park. Lots of new things coming up your way. Keep us locked. Island Zone Radio is the place to be 24/7. They take you back on island mode.
And I will continue to stay in Shana's pocket so I could get to see all the wonderful people who are making a difference in this world.
And I only introduce him to all my beautiful friends. If I said that's a beautiful person, I'll introduce him to that person. And if I don't
Absolutely.
introduce him to some people, well, he knows why.
Absolutely.
I keep him away from the bad folks. So you guys are all beautiful. Thank you for your love, your support. Thursday is Shanaz Musical Sensation on Island Zone Radio. A friend of mine said, hey Shanaz, I saw you and Ken on TV. I said, really? Yeah. What do you have? Files. I said, well, we're on Files and Spectrum every Wednesdays 10 a.m. and then Saturday 9 p.m. Spectrum TV and Files, Channel 56, Channel 34. The Caribbean Voice presentation of the mind-body connection. Let's cook. You never know when I'll be cooking on TV. Until next time, Shanaz and Ken,
Good night.
good night, take care, God bless, and all the best. Have yourself a productive week ahead.
That's right.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.